let you know. Okay. Hello, my beautiful people. I am Dr. Jenna Zellers, your host, the 21-day Mend Yourself Facebook Live Summit. And I am here today with a dear friend. We go all the way back to junior high and high school, where we spent our time together in the same small country town. I think our graduating class had like 75 people in it. Today, Miss Brooke is now a chiropractic student. I'm going to read her intro here. She's such a shining star, and I have many reasons why I brought her on the show today. So, Brooke is a mother, an entrepreneur, and a full-time chiropractic student on a journey of self-love to discover the woman she was created to be. And I want all of you watching to see that for yourself. She was actually diagnosed with a mild case of cerebral palsy. She struggled to love herself and to find value in her world. After years of self-inflicted pain, she found the strength to fight for her life and has completely changed the trajectory of her story, which she's going to share with us today. Brooke, welcome to the Mend Yourself Well community. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Jenna. Such a pleasure.
Yes. So why don't you just, in your own words, give us a little background about who you are and what you're up to these days?
Sure. In my own words, I'm, like Jenna said, a mom, a student, an entrepreneur. I got diagnosed with cerebral palsy when I was 2 years old. My mom had a traumatic birth story, and it just really was what I defined myself as. I just defined myself growing up as a disabled child. I'm the oldest of 5, so I always thought my mom loved my 4 other siblings a lot more than me, and that I was just the defective one. And so carrying these messages all throughout the years it put a lot of baggage on my back. And, you know, even going through school, I did fairly well in school, honor roll, that kind of stuff. I hated getting acknowledged for any of that, because I didn't want to have to walk across a stage or walk in front of the class or be in front of people because of how I walked and the little bounce in my step. And it's taken me years to recover, and I'm not fully recovered. I'm on a journey of recovery with that. But the pivotal moment in my life that changed is when I had my daughter. And I really, truly believe that if it wasn't for her life, my life would not be where it is today. She's made an incredible impact in my world and helped me realize that I don't have to believe the things that I believed at one point in my life, that I am better, that I can overcome, that I do have something to offer the world despite my physical disability. And yeah, like, feel free to stop me. I might go on forever, but I mean, that really, that she was my biggest life-changing moment when I became a mom.
Her name's Riley?
Riley, yes.
Riley.
Yeah.
And how old is she?
She's 7 now. So.
Oh, she's growing so fast.
Yeah, she is. So
was it when she was a baby that things started to change, or was it more of like when she was growing up and you saw like you didn't want her to miss out and like you were teaching her lessons, like, that lesson kind of applies to me too? Like, which, or is it both?
It's both. I started really, like, she was about 8 months old, and I realized that I was really emotionally broken, and that if I did not change the way I parented this child, she would be as much broken as I am, or even worse. And it was at that moment that I decided to seek help. I was in a very unhealthy relationship with her father. I didn't know who I was. I had made a series of bad choices all throughout the years leading up to that. And here I was as a mom trying to do everything super holistic. She was under chiropractic care since she was born. We were eating organic food. We were doing all of the things that you do, quote unquote, right, to have this healthy baby. But in the same sense, like the mind is so important to maintain that healthiness. You cannot just maintain your shell of a body and keep that healthy. The head has got to stay healthy. And I realized that I'm not doing her service in her mind. Even at 8 months old, you know, I was freaking out. So I decided to get therapy and to get help. And it was the most, you know, like it may have been selfish at that point to take time away from her and to send her to, you know, be babysat by somebody while I was getting some help, you know, every couple hours, or I went twice a week for a couple hours. And I realized at that point it wasn't, I mean, I realized later on at that point it wasn't selfish. It was a selfless act to like heal myself, get better so she could be a shining beacon of light and live her life fully, knowing that she's been put on this planet to make a difference as well.
Mm-hmm. That's so amazing. Like both of you, like you guys are, I mean, just together, you guys are probably just like an amazing duo. To know at 7 years old that like be a shining light someday, like I don't know, that just makes me want to cry, because like it makes me think like back when I was like, no one was telling me at 7 that I could be a shining light. Like I had to figure it out on my own. Like I knew that deep down inside that purpose was there, but it took me till I was 33 years old to go, oh yeah, like through all the self-help that I found, all the seminars, like, and figure out like why I've been on this constant quest to look for answers. And it's like, oh, because I'm supposed to shine. And I kept feeling like my whole life I had to be less than shining. Like I was too much, or I couldn't say what I wanted to say. And so to raise a daughter from a young age, I can only imagine how amazing. And she's probably 7 years old and already authentic. You know what I mean? And it just sounds, that's amazing. So kudos to you. And you've been doing that. You've been parenting as a chiropractic student. Like one, I have to give you props. I didn't do much extra at all when I was through chiropractic school. Like I was single and definitely didn't have any kids, and chiropractic school was my life. So you're wearing a lot of hats. So what do you do? Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, no, go on.
I was just going to say, like, you're wearing all these hats. So when does Brooke get to work on Brooke? And what do you do? What does mending yourself well look like for you?
So for me, and just as a little side note, so people don't think I'm this crazy super mom, is I'm kind of at this point in my life parenting from afar. So my daughter is in San Diego with her dad. My whole family is down there. I made the choice to come up to chiropractic school, which is 8 hours away. I'm up in the Bay Area in California, and to do this for us, to do this for myself, to make a difference. And it hasn't been easy by any means. And I'm down in San Diego, flying home like once a month, you know, spending the weekend. I'm there 100% of all of our school breaks, which you may understand with the school breaks. I'm thank God for technology, because we're on FaceTime all the time talking. And so we still have a very strong emotional connection. Prior to me leaving, there was a lot of issues with her dad and I, where he almost hung like a metaphoric noose around my neck and tried to stop me from taking her, because the original plan was her to come up here with me. And I had to make the difficult decision to turn around and say, you know what, I'm doing this for myself and I'm doing this for her. And while this might be the most difficult 3.5 years of my entire life, it's going to be the most worth it. And so yes, I'm able to do school, and yes, I'm able to be a mom and have my business. But that's kind of how I'm able to do it all. In terms of how I am working to mend myself, and again, this is a constant journey. This is not, I don't ever believe I'm going to hit an end point, because once I get to another level, it's going to become like, you want to level up, and you want to be competitive against who you were yesterday, not competitive against the other person that, you know, you wish to be. So,
or the
Yeah, right. So things that I do, specifically my morning routine is key for me. And like I am known to get up really early, despite, school doesn't start till 7:30. I'm up at like 5 doing my meditations. I get some reading done. I'm filling my mind with positive thoughts, with affirmations, with, podcasts and there's so many different mediums that will work for each individual person. Meditation might not be your thing, affirmations might not be your thing, but you got to find what that thing is for you. For me, huh?
What fills you up?
Exactly. And so I just find that I get a little bit out of everything. But meditation has been the number one thing that has like transformed my life in so many ways. And as a chiropractor, Dr. Jenna, you might know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is, but if you guys, whoever's watching, don't know who this gentleman is, you have to look him up. He is profound. My life has changed even more since coming across his material a couple years ago and going through his program, to understand how the mind works. And it's shifted night and day for me. And so that's what kind of got me onto the meditation train and, affirmations and really feeding my mind, because we go to the gym, we eat good food, we do all this stuff to keep our vessel healthy. Meanwhile, what's inside is not good. And yeah.
Yeah, so you're the second person, or I think you're the fourth person so far that's just in the summit talked about the power of meditation. So it's just a reminder to anyone watching, like, and Rosalind, she started the summit off with talking about the power. And so I think it's like all always coming full circle of like, if you want to mend yourself well, like give yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes a day to just be still in your body mind, and to allow your body to like just take a break from what you're literally putting it through. And Rosalind, in our own conversation, she's told me about the power of Dr. Joe Dispenza's. He has, I've bought his like walking meditation, which is really cool. I don't know if you've been exposed to the walking one. It's like an hour and a half long, but I have this really beautiful place that I like to walk in my neighborhood, and it has a pond and a waterfall. And he like the concept is like walking into the like your next level of life, like leveling up, like you said.
Yes.
And so you're doing this walking meditation of walking into like your future life of like what's actually possible, and it's pretty profound.
I love it. I got to check that out.
Okay. Sorry, my nose was running. I think you made me, out of all of our guests, you've made me the most teary-eyed.
Oh,
yeah, you have a really great story, and and I know what it's like to go through chiropractic school. I'm kind of doing it twice because my husband's going through it. These have been the hardest years of my life, re-experiencing chiropractic through his journey, because one, we live 45 minutes away from the school. Chiropractic school is not easy.
no.
Like, just makes me realize how many people actually make sacrifices to make their dreams come true. Or, he and I are one now. He's in his 40s and making that commute and that commitment, but it is worth it because it's just like anything that you're willing to commit to, whether it's your health, your finances, your school and your journey. It's like, put in the hard time now and work really hard so that you don't have to work as hard. Like, it's like there's two hard roads. One, you're going to be hard forever, or the other one, a little bit of hard now for that prize at the end.
Yes.
Just over a year left of school, so you're kind of like right on track with my husband too. So
that'll be cool. Exciting moments.
Yes. So tell us a little bit more about like, so one, I never knew, I didn't know any better anyways when I was in junior high or high school. I didn't know that you had a disability. I do remember you had a very unique walk, and it was like a cool, like walk. Like I always saw you had a really cool walk.
Oh,
Never did I
thank
realize
you.
until no, really, seriously. And like I putting the pieces together after I heard you talk about cerebral palsy a while ago, I was like, oh, that explains her walk now
Yeah.
that I know, but I
Yeah.
never put it together. So I'd love for you to just share a little bit about what cerebral palsy is for those that don't know, and how that really like go into the dark depths of like what that looked like in your life and how you've come on the other side.
Okay. It's the dark depths are like something that I try to run from, but I know I need to stop running from it because I can kind of get emotional about it just going through it. But before I start, so cerebral, yeah.
Sorry.
So for those that don't know, cerebral palsy is more of like, it's a nervous system disorder. It's not really a disease. It's not something you contract. It's something you're born with. So what happened and what happens with a lot of people that get it is they lose oxygen during the birthing process or something along the road in terms of how the delivery happened. And that loss of oxygen to the brain affects their gross motor movement. So you may see people in a wheelchair really, tightly curled up. A lot of it is like your flexors are really tight. So you'll see people, if I can do it, they'll like have their arms like tight up like this. They have trouble talking because their tongue muscle, or their tongue is a muscle, or everybody's tongue is a muscle, not just theirs. But cognitively, they know everything that they're trying to say. They know everything that they're trying to get across. But when they vocalize it, it doesn't come out that the way they want it. So being a CP kid, I don't have vocalization issues, maybe some, but I have still experienced that frustration of feeling misunderstood by people. And I can only imagine what they're feeling. My mild case of it only affects the right side of my body. So I do everything left-handed. Like I write with this hand, I do everything with this hand. This is my right hand. So you guys can kind of see how I can, like, I don't have the same dexterity in that hand. And then I walk on my tippy toe on my right hand or on my right foot. And through that, like, when I was younger, I did PT when I was physical therapy when I was 3 up until I was 5. I remember in elementary school getting taken out of class and doing like gross motor movement exercises with a gentleman who helped he was like an occupational therapist. I really don't know the whole extent of it because I was kind of young. And I lived in this world where I struggled so bad because I was a straight A student at one point. I did well on spelling bees. I did well in school. Like I did not have anything cognitively like wrong with me, but it was physically apparent that there was something wrong. And so I hated that he would come into class. I hated that he would show up and pull me out of class because it only showed other people in that classroom that I was different. And I fought so hard to be the same as everybody else. Like I didn't want to be different. And so for my whole entire life up until, like you were saying, like later on in life, you realized that like I know that there's this light in me. I know that there's this beautifulness in me that is wanting to come out, but why have I not let it come out for all these years? But all of that time, I like, I went back and forth, and I felt so defeated. I felt like I had nothing to offer. Like, what could I give this world? What is my impact going to look like? I can't even walk a straight line. I can't do this. I can't. All of these things that I told myself, these are like the lies that I would believe. And it's not like I grew up in a horrible family and they were, calling me disabled. Everybody treated me like a normal kid when I was at home. But I didn't treat myself as a normal kid, and I wasn't being fed the belief pattern that I am who I am and I can be different and it's okay. I remember leaving that elementary school and moving to a new school, and kids like laughed at me. Like I was walking and I'd hear laughter in the back. And still to this day, there's some psychological stuff going on where I'll hear people laughing behind me. They could be laughing about anything. And I'm like, they're laughing about me. And then I got to go, no, they're not laughing about you. You don't know them. You are who you are, and you're beautiful. Like, this is how much I've gone through the mindset growth to where I can recognize faulty patterns and I can snap back out of it. But imagine not having those healthy ways of dealing with things. And so every single time something happens, you're just layering on gunk, 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 gunk throughout the whole process. It takes years to peel all that back off. So, I mean, they would laugh. They would call me Alka-Seltzer, which in their words to a 7th grader at that point, or to 6th grade, because I left our school and went to another school for 6th grade and then came back, the junior high you and I went to. But in their mind, Alka-Seltzer was a bad word to call me an alcoholic because they said I walk like I'm drunk. And there was so many aspects about myself where I feel like I just allowed myself to mend and to mold into other people's cliques and like do what they're doing so I can be accepted, versus finding out who I am. What do I like to do? Like, and find a tribe and a group of people that, you know, are similar in that regard instead of trying to be like everybody else.
Yeah. And you talked about your daughter and when she was born. When did you start like making major shifts up here, and
when did I start making major changes here?
Shifts up here, and like, how did you get the tools to do that? Like, how did that process happen for you?
So I mentioned earlier about the therapist, and at the time, like, I didn't really know what I was doing with her because I didn't know how to convey the emotions that were going on inside, because I've been so good at masking everything and putting the smile on my face and everything's fine, you know. And so when you're sitting in this environment with somebody and you're just like, I have problems, I don't know what they are. It was a lot of hard work, but I thought that I was in there to find myself. What I realized is that I was in an unhealthy relationship and I needed to get out. So she provided great tools in terms of helping me get to that point, but I still was sick in the head. I'm going to be honest with you. I still was really sick in the head. At the time though, like I had really, I was under chiropractic care this whole time because I started my chiropractic journey when I was still pregnant with my daughter. And I started this really great relationship with my chiropractor, and he became like a mentor to me in my life. And he began speaking into my life and speaking over me. And he was like, Brooke, why aren't you going to chiropractic school? And I would laugh at him every single time I was in his office, which was like 2 times a week. I would laugh at him and I would say, Dr. Matt, I told you I have cerebral palsy, right? Like I can't do chiropractic school. And he would just continue to like shut down those like negative thoughts. And he's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Finally, after, you know, almost a year of that, like his associate in the office, was going to adjust my cervicals. And I have a tendency, like chiropractors would understand this, but I'm like a helpful patient. So if you want to turn my head like this, I'm going to help you turn my head, like, versus you need them to be in a very relaxed, neutral position, right? Now I know this, but I was helping him and he's like, relax. Well, I always thought I was helping him. I didn't realize what I was doing subconsciously, that I was helping him. I thought, my muscles are tight, I have cerebral palsy, I can't relax. And so he was picking on my head to do a cervical adjustment, and he was like, relax. And I'm like, I told you, doctor, this is his associate doc. I said, I told you, Dr. Leo, I can't relax, I have cerebral palsy. He sets my head down very gently, and he stands over me. He's a really tall guy. He stands over me and looks down. And he stares me straight in the eye. Mind you, I haven't had a father figure mainly my entire life. And so this was like the stern fatherly look. And he's like, I'm tired of you saying this to me every single time you're in here. I need you to kick that statement so far from you and get it out of here. And my eyes welled up with tears, and I was just like crying on the table. And like he finished the adjustment in silence. We were both silent. And I walk out of the room, and Dr. Matt is like looking at me, and he's like, what happened? Like, are you okay? Because here's his brand new associate doc who's only been there for 3 months, adjusting his patients that have been under care for a while. So he's like, like what's happening? And I'm like, I with tears in my eyes, I explained to him what happened. And here, I don't know why I was under the impression that he was just going to tell me, oh, it's going to be okay. He puts his hand sternly on my shoulder, and he looks me dead in the face, and he's like, you need to go to chiropractic school. And I was just like, from that moment, you know, like it was just this awakening to where, like, back to the original question, and I will get there, I apologize. Like, what tools did I have? People came into my life that I allowed into my life to speak into my life, who led me down the path to other people and other people and other people. And so I've created this tribe of mentors. I've created this like group of people that if I call them and ask them, look, I'm going through a situation, I feel this way, like what can I do? What needs to be done? They're going to give me advice, or they're going to give me insight that I may be blind to at the moment because I'm going through it. And so to encourage anybody out there that might be experiencing something like this, I truly, truly believe that it just takes one. You don't have to find like this great mentor, whatever. It could be the person closest to you. It could be the person you least expect, because I did not expect it to be my chiropractor. I really didn't. I didn't even know I wasn't seeking out mentorship. But mentorship was like the biggest thing in my life, because they helped pull that gunk that I've had layered up faster and faster and faster. And then getting connected with Dr. Joe's program a couple, like a year or so after that, and then starting chiropractic school myself, has just been, I like, there's certain people in my life that I really truly value their thought process, and their insight into my life. And it's not these big names, although there are social media people that you can gain a lot from, but you don't have to talk to them on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that was a little long-winded, but.
No, I love every word you say. And I think it's a message that whoever's watching will be gaining from and inspired from. And I really think that a good mentor or coach or accountability partner see not yours, but not mine, but like if I'm someone's coach or mentor, it's because I see their potential. That's what I love about being a chiropractor and being a coach, is the people that come into my life, I literally can see the trajectory of the future way better than they can, because they, like you said, you have limiting beliefs, you think bad about yourself. And the good thing about having someone in your life that pours into you like a coach or mentor is because they will see your potential way better than you can, and they will guide and direct you in that direction.
Right.
So it's
true.
I think we could talk all day long, and we might lose a couple people along the way, though. Thank you so much for coming on here. There's something I want to make sure that we share with the group, because you're doing some really cool stuff. And I think that you've been able to do that because you found your shining light, and you know that you're here to make a difference. And so tell us a little bit about your side. Tell us a little bit about Cup of Sugar.
Sure. So Cup of Sugar is my business with my best friend. And what it is, it's a mobile app that we've created that's designed to bring hyper-local communities together. So apartment complexes, college dorm rooms, senior housing, those kind of places, for them to build a community. I know that there's a lot of a lot of places nearby that people live in, and they might not live in an apartment complex and not have that connection, but we're focusing there specifically. And it's a way for them to connect over food. We believe food is the master connector of all people. It surpasses any kind of race, judgment, hate, like all of it. We all need food to survive. And we're doing this through the app, and it's only food ingredients. So it's not food leftovers, but it's bringing back the cup of sugar philosophy, where people can knock on a neighbor's door and borrow a cup of sugar or ask for an onion, and bringing it to our technological world that exists today. And so we realize people don't like asking for help, but we also know that people love giving help if they can. And so this gives them the ability to do both. So they can share food excess if they have items that might, they're going out of town that might expire, they can give it away, and they can request and build communities within their neighborhoods. So that's a project I'm working on.
That's so unique and so authentic. What was it that made you come up with that?
Well, my best friend and I, we found ourselves in a predicament where we needed a couple eggs, and it was late. Our kids were sleeping. We could have ran to like a convenience store of some sort, but she ended up texting one of her neighbors, the only neighbor she knew in her apartment complex at that moment, and the lady came through. And to think about the amount of times people forget something at the grocery store and have to get back into the car or go down the elevator in their high-rise building or whatever that looks like for them, the inconvenience of having to do all that, and being able to save the time of not having to go to the store when you can get it from 3 doors down. And you really build friendships like that, So, awesome. Yeah.
So what's the vision of Cup of Sugar?
The vision of it, broader outlook, is basically just to have, to take it nationwide, to have, thriving communities, local communities, with, utilizing it. So we'd like to think, like a Uber or Airbnb, like to that scale, to where it's like a well-known name and people know it and they can trust it, and, and really build quality friendships. So, because one more thing to add. So we live in a very social media driven world where people are trying to accumulate likes. They're trying to accumulate followers. They're asking for subscribers. They're, adding 5,000 friends on Facebook. The saddest thing is that all of those influencers, all of those people, that are working on that, they come home every single day, park in their garage, go into their home. They don't know who they live next door to. So it's taking that piece where Facebook connected the world, but really bringing back connection. So, yeah.
The more we feel connected on these guys, the less connected we actually are.
Right. It's very true.
Good for you. And is there a way that people can start to support your mission with Cup of Sugar?
Absolutely. You can go on our website. You can reach out to me if you live in an apartment complex and would like to spearhead, getting it on to your guys's, property. That would be awesome. The app is free to download. It doesn't cost anybody anything. You're sharing food and requesting food more as a community thing. It's not, I'm going to pay you $1 for this onion or that kind of stuff. Our website is cupofsugarapp.com, and then all of our contact information at the bottom. You can contact us that way. Myself, my social media handle is Brooksby, BROOKSBEE, and that's on Instagram. And then I can put all the rest in the comments.
Yeah, I'll put all your links in the comments so people can find you and connect with you. It's so great connecting. It's so great catching up and hearing your story. I love that you're going to make an awesome chiropractor and a mentor to so many other people. And you're just paying it forward every day. So keep up the great work. Your daughter's really lucky to have you as her mom. I need you to help me pick a winner for the prize. So today, and we have Michelle, she's watching. Michelle is giving away a hair system. So she's with Monet, and she's giving away a hair shampoo, conditioner. It's what I used I didn't love my hair before I met Michelle. And so, Brooke, I need you to pick a number.
Okay.
Make sure everybody's here. I need you to pick a number between 2 and 79 for the winner of Michelle's gift.
Let's go 22.
Okay. So that was the number picked yesterday. Let me make sure I pulled that up. Yeah.
Okay.
So I pulled that song. So we're updated list now.
Okay.
The winner of 22 is Jerry Sanchez Davis. So Camille, I think that's one of your friends. So Jerry, I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. You are the lucky winner of Michelle Tyler's hair care system. So also you don't have Michelle said that's the same number I picked, but I updated the list, Michelle. So we have a new and then you're not in a place in your business to give away something. I'm going to go ahead and give away a prize for tomorrow's winner. Just want to announce fast before I let you go what that prize is. So I've been a life coach since January, and I'm excited because the reason behind me coaching was because I found what authenticity meant and looked like for me when I was 31 years old, just 3 years ago. I wanted to be authentic because, like you and I talked about, you felt like you had to like go to a circle of people and like mesh what they expected out of you, and I've done that my whole life, and I was tired of it. So I created a platform to actually take people through a very specific process to actually find what authenticity looks like. So I'm giving away that 90-day process. It's called the Path Authenticity Blueprint to Your Most Authentic Self. So that'll be the prize that will be picked tomorrow. So Brooke, is there anything else you wanted to add, like maybe one more tip or words of wisdom that you want to share with our listeners today?
Oh my goodness. I don't think I have anything else. I mean, just be you, be beautifully you. You know, it sounds cliche, but be you. It really is powerful.
And if you who that is, go through the journey figuring it out, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. So great to spend this evening with you, and we will chat soon. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with day 7.
Yeah. One more thing. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, chiropractic.
Happy birthday, chiropractic. 185 years?
124.
124. Okay. Yeah. So chiropractic was founded on September 18th.
Yeah, 1895. Yeah. So I think 123.
We do have a lot of chiropractors in this group and chiropractic patients. So yeah. We will appreciate that. If you're not a patient yet, definitely your life will be better, well adjusted. So find a chiropractor or a chiropractic intern like Brooke and get your nervous system. Awesome. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.